Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Bitcoin Sports Podcast, where we talk about Bitcoin and sports. I have the illustrious Stacy Herbert and Max Kaiser here with me once again to help talk about the Max and Stacy Bitcoin Golf Invitational happening in El Salvador, presented by Unchained in January 2025. Half of it will be a tournament. Another half of it may be the 100K party in Bitcoin that we've all been hoping for, depending on how things go. But we also have a very special guest with us, one of our sponsors for the tournament, which is Braiins, a very exciting Bitcoin mining company that basically is an all-in-one solution for anybody who's deep into mining or just getting started in the industry. The person we have speaking with us is Eli Nagar. How do you pronounce your last name, Eli?
Nagar, N-A-G-A-R, Nagar.
Nagar, sorry about that. And with that, I think Eli is much better at describing all of the great things that Braiins does. So we'll hand it off to him and let him introduce the company. Hey, Eli.
Hey, Chris. Thank you. Hey, Max, Stacy. Thanks for having me here. This is my first ever, after 2.5 years, first ever Bitcoin podcast. So, which kind of crazy because, when I stepped into the space, I wasn't even paying attention to Bitcoin at all. I didn't care about it. I didn't know about it. I knew it existed, but I really didn't put a lot of attention to it. And now, sitting here with you after 2.5 years, talking about Bitcoin mining, quite crazy. About myself, so I joined Braiins 2.5 years ago. Before joining Braiins, I was working over 20 years at business and tech companies. I've led a team across multiple industries, from gambling to security, working at Microsoft and security, large financial institution. By the way, do you see how all this eventually converge to Bitcoin, right? Financial, security, gambling. And then I joined Braiins at September 2022. My first day wasn't in the office. I joined Honey Badger conference at Riga, which was awesome. Obviously, as I said, I didn't know anything about it, but I was very impressed by the two co-founders of Braiins, Jan and Pavel. And I was very impressed by them, so I decided to go in. The first day at Bitcoin at Honey Badger was actually quite crazy, because I remember sitting at the Noob Day there, and people were clapping and cheering, all this calling themselves Bitcoin maximalists. And I asked myself, really, this is a cult, or where did I really join? I wasn't sure about it. So, but really, sitting after that, I started hearing. I remember Anita Posch was there, and Giacomo Zucco was there talking about censorship resistance, and Anita was talking about how Bitcoin actually helps solve issues in the global South, which was very eye-opening for me. So, the first 3 days as a Bitcoin, as a CEO at Braiins, I already know, I identify people, that want to have a change. I wouldn't call it revolution, but wanted to do some change. And I was very attracted to it. And I didn't say I was passionate about it, but I was definitely willing to explore a little bit more about it. So that's about me. Sorry if I took too much of,
No, Eli, thanks so much. And it's great to have you on. And thanks so much for being a sponsor of the Max and Stacy Invitational. Max and Stacy have been friends with the crew over at Braiins for a number of years. We identify the best of the best in the Bitcoin space, and that's the only people that we associate with, really. And the maximalists and the highest quality, the highest integrity companies. And so Braiins has been our companions on this journey for a number of years. And so when I reached out and mentioned this opportunity for sponsorship, we got right back, and now we're very happy that you're on board. And I think you're going to be a very welcome addition to the atmosphere that we have, because it's really like a networking as well as golf tournaments. So I think about it like the Paul Allen has an annual networking event amongst the most, the highest quality tech investors in the world at his place. And this is going to be, I think, the Paul Allen event of schmoozing and networking in the Bitcoin world here in El Salvador. And you guys are going to be super welcome to jump on board and enjoy a great 2 days, January 10th and 11th. So that's really fantastic.
Yeah, and I just want to jump in and say Max and I have known Jan for forever. I can't remember like when we haven't known him in the Bitcoin space. And go over some of the products that Braiins offers, because you have quite a range of mostly services and pools and stuff like that. But you also have that mini miner, which I think is a great Christmas or birthday or any sort of gift, really, any occasion that you might give a gift. So talk about those products.
100%. So thanks, Stacy, Max, for the kind words. I mean, when the opportunity came for us to join the golf tournament, it wasn't a question of if, it was only a question of what type of sponsorship are we going to get and who are we going to send. So definitely like being around you guys and all the sponsors and all the people who will attend, this was an awesome opportunity for us. So let's talk about Braiins a little bit. When people talk about Ask Braiins, we always start with the numbers. Because honestly, it's hard to ignore. Braiins has been the first mining pool in the industry. And to date, we've mined something about over 1.3 million Bitcoin, 1.3 million BTC, yes. So Braiins has been in the industry since the very beginning, 2010. This is kind of an over 14 years now in the Bitcoin space. As you said, Jan and Pavel forever. It feels like, they've been there since the beginning. So when you think about it, in 2010, there was not really a lot of, Bitcoin mining was something you could only do on laptops, like nerds, geeks, and tech savvies did that. No industry scale operations, no billion-dollar companies. It was just about few pioneers ready really to explore the new idea. And Braiins was there building the foundation, helping to build the mining foundation, supporting the miners. Like moving fast forward a few years, companies like Riot, Marathon, they joined the industry. Riot joined, I think, about 2017, Marathon about like 2020. Well, they were founded in 2010, but joined only in 2020. And I think, they didn't transition into Bitcoin, as I said, like in 2020. And today, those like giants running basically massive scale operation with really state-of-the-art facilities. But really what stands for me is that by the time Riot and Marathon just started mining, Braiins had already spent years in the trenches, right? We had seen like evolving from CPUs to GPUs to what we have known now as ASICs. We went through cycles of bull and bear markets. We developed like all the expertise to help the miners to navigate basically this like very complex, crazy, changing industry. So when people think about Braiins, I don't want them to think just the first mining pool. I really want them to understand that we've been there from the start, long before any mining industry dominated by those big giants. In addition to that, so just go quickly through the product. We did develop the Braiins OS, the operating system, the first and most efficient aftermarket software currently runs on top of 2 gigawatt of machines. We also created a lot of tools for miners like Braiins Toolbox, which are free, Braiins Monitor, Farm Proxy, Mining Insight, where miners can go and calculate the profitability. And we're just now about to release the free farm management software for miners. We did a lot of innovation also on the protocol. We did Stratum V2, redesigning miners and how they communicate between the miner to the pool, and basically setting the Bitcoin standard in the Bitcoin mining industry.
Yeah, tell us more about this mini. What is it? A mini something?
A mini miner.
Mini miner.
Mini miner. So I'll just wrap up all the hardware because it's the journey to reach the mini miner was actually very, very important. And I'll have also, if you stick with me a few more minutes, I will have also, I will reveal something that we kept private up until now for the past 3 years. So I waited for this moment to talk to you, to tell you more about it.
Great.
So Braiins has been working for 7 years now, developing and experimenting and building, exploring new ways basically to innovate on the hardware side. So we started developing our own immersion cooling system. We designed our own control board, perfectly suited to run on Braiins OS on Bitmain machines. We work on the PSU, which we plan to release next first quarter of 2025. And we also design our own very own hashboard. Now this year we also released the Braiins mini miner. Actually, well, you cannot see it, but I have it here with me. It is a 1 terahash miner, fully fledged. You can, if you want, it's a great educational tool. If you want to learn about Bitcoin mining, you can go on our website, buy it, and enjoy basically the mining experiment. And this is a great tool for everybody who wants to experiment and doesn't want to spend $4,000 on the current, market price.
How much is a mini miner?
So we are about to release the BMM 101 just now, ready for Christmas for $299.
Okay.
Pretty cheap, right?
And so this is the announcement? This is the big announcement you've been waiting to?
No. So what we've kept private is in the past 3 years, we've been, after hitting a lot of innovative milestone, we decided basically to take our own challenge. And today I'm very excited to introduce Basic. Basically, it's Braiins' own, very own ASIC. So we've been working on the ASIC development, and this is the next big step for Braiins. We combine everything we know about hardware, software, and obviously mining to create the best or the top strongest mining machine at the top quality possible. Now, last July, we taped out our very first 4 nanometer chips with about 17 joules per terahash. And just to put into perspective, this is our first generation chip, right? Bitmain didn't hit this efficiency up until years that they went into their ASIC journey. So super excited that we were able actually to prove that our engineers, both hardware and software, were capable of actually bring their expertise into live, into the ASIC. This is huge for us. We are super excited about it and really looking forward to push it into one day into the Bitcoin domain.
Well, I'm super excited by this. Sorry to interrupt here, but the last time we really hung out with Jan was in San Francisco at Bitcoin 2019, and it was really fun to hang out with him. It was just me, Max, and Jan and backstage, and he had flown direct from Europe to San Francisco, and he was just not even jet lagged. He was just saying he had the whole flight, which was 11 hours, he had sat there, he said, encoded Stratum V2.
V2, exactly.
Yeah. So he was so just electric with energy about what he was about to release. And he was so excited. So I love his passion and he's such a builder, right? He's really passionate about it. So that's Braiins for you, right?
That's exactly Braiins. I mean, Pavel and Jan, both of them, that's the reason why I joined Braiins. Basically, talking to them, while we were in the process of onboarding me into Braiins, talking to them, basically you see 2 laser focused guys that want to push the boundaries of the technology, that care about Bitcoin. I mean, this is the first and foremost, when you talk about Pavel and Jan, they care about Bitcoin. They care about educating the industry. We are doing a lot of educational tools, books over books. We go to university. We educate kids. We go to third world countries. We give lectures. We educate people. This is what we do. A lot of our revenues go back to the community, and we're really glad that we have the possibility to sustain 14 years already in this very demanding industry. So yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, Eli. Hey, Chris, why don't we buy 10 mini miners and give them away as prizes?
We'll give it the best.
That sounds like a great idea. I mean, I'm really excited by this mini miner idea at a price point that's just over $200. Seems super affordable for the average Bitcoin pleb out there who's maybe they have their own node and they've tested all that out and they have their own hardware setups and multi-sig, and they've been intimidated by getting into the mining space, but at such a low barrier of entry, it seems like such a good opportunity to start getting involved and start playing around with that. I'm interested to see if Braiins has any sort of projections on um, revenue based on these mini miners, on how long it would take to earn back that initial cost of these things. What could somebody expect if they get one of these? Is it just a plug and play into their home outlet, or
It is like a 5 minutes installation. You just plug in, set up your pool account, and within like one minute you have the miner running. Now, as I said, it's like kind of a scratch card, right? It's a lottery. You pull it in. Don't ask me about the probability to hit. It's probably 1 to never. I think it's even worse than the US lottery, but at least you will have the, first some chance, but second you will have the experience, and you will. It's, as I said, it's a great educational tool. We are constantly building more screens and adding more, enhancing the UI of the mini miner, which is quite large in the new generation. And we'll add the Bitcoin price, we'll add some stats, we'll have the developer screens. We're going to have a lot of interesting content in it. So it will be an amazing tool for everybody who wants to keep, not just on the Bitcoin mining side, but wants to keep himself also updated with the Bitcoin news.
So Eli, the energy required to run the mini miner is de minimis, right? It's hardly anything.
It's like nothing, 40 watts.
No, it's like running a light bulb, but nevertheless, like you say, there's a lottery going on here. There is a possibility that you could score some Bitcoin. I mean, we hear stories all the time about, a single miner with some plug-in mini miner just got a block worth $300,000, right? So that's a possibility. It's an extremely small and remote possibility, but why not?
100%. I mean, we hear at least last year, in 2024, we heard at least about 2 occasions where solo miners with the mini miner actually won a block. So it is possible. The chances again are low, but it's like, chances of hitting any other lottery.
And
sorry, Stacy,
Yeah.
just the last question on that. So when you're plugging it in, is it like when you plug it into a pool, is it a solo pool, or are you able to plug it into a multitude of different type of pools?
So it's agnostic to any pool. Basically, the mini miner, you are not forced to plug it into Braiins pool. You can choose any of the pools. If I were, to give any recommendation, don't connect it to any FPPS pool because the returns are very low. Even now, the returns will be about $4 a month, which is nice, if you want to give your child as a side pocket and teach them about Bitcoin, which is great. But I would definitely go I have myself 3 mini miners that I bought from the company. I run them on a solo pool and, wishing that one day I will hit the jackpot.
And finally, we want to wrap this up, but I want to bring us back to El Salvador because, of course, you are sponsoring the Max and Stacy Golf Invitational in El Salvador, which is happening on January 10th and 11th in El Encanto. This mini miner sounds actually great, and you are participating in education programs as well. So while your team is here, I would like you to participate in the premier education program in the world, which is the Bitcoin and Lightning Devs program called Kubo Plus. And we do always have a mining section for the students. So that would be great to have you participate in that while you're here in El Salvador on behalf of Bitcoin.
100%, commitment made.
Fantastic. I really like the idea of giving away some of these. Stacy, in another one of our conversations earlier on, we were talking about some maybe door prizes or some prizes for the non-players who will be at the event. I think having a couple of these could be a really good prize for a non-player to receive. So let's on the back end, let's take a deeper dive into that, Eli, if you don't mind.
100%. Done.
Great. Awesome. Well, Eli, I'd like to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for your time. We're really excited about the tournament and getting to know your team more at the event. People who are coming to the event can, of course, go and find anybody at the Braiins team that'll be there. There'll be a few people there and talk to about mining. But yeah, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you, Chris, Max, Stacy. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, Ed.